Hi guys, my name is Akurede Adenike. You're welcome to my channel. I really want to appreciate you guys for you coming to my channel always, even while I was away. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you and I do not take it for granted. In the tutorial today, I would like to teach you how to cut and sew this beautiful gather dress showing on the screen. Here is the fabric I'm using for the tutorial today. Is one of the African print Ankara fabric. I have 3 yards of fabric here, and this is the matching lining that I'm going to use for it. For me not to waste much of your time, now let's dive into it. So the dress I'm making today is 2 parts, the upper part and the down part. Here's the fabric for the upper part. To know the amount of fabric folding for the upper part, I'm going to use my hip to calculate the measurement. Here's the front part, as you can see, folded into 2. Here's the folded edge and there is the open edge. And I have the back part on the front part, as you can see, under the front part, as you can see. So this is the 2 inches for the zipper allowance for the back part. So let's continue. I said I used hip to calculate my measurements. So my hip is 38 inches divided by 4 is 9.5 inches. For the front part, I'm going to add 2 inches to it. I added 2 inches to it. That is 11.5 inches. And for the back part, I added 4 inches to it. 2 inches for the seam allowance and 2 inches for zipper allowance for the back part. Now to start with, I'm going to draw ½ inch here for my starting point. Just make it straight. And after that, I'm going to measure from this line now. I'm going to measure all my horizontal line. I'm measuring my chest line. To get that is half of my round armhole. My round armhole is 14 inches divided by 2 is 7 inches. I added 1 inch to it for my shoulder slope, that is 8 inches, which is here. From that shoulder line to my bust point is 10 inches. And from that shoulder line to my waistline is 17 inches. From the shoulder line to my hip line is 23 inches, which is here. So I'll go ahead and extend all the lines now. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. So this is my chest line, my bust point line, my waistline and my hip line. Make sure you label it for you not to make silly mistakes. And from my shoulder line to the full length of my upper part, which is above my knee length, which is 34 inches. So the remaining inches here will be for my seam allowance to join the down part. So guys, please subscribe to my channel and make sure you turn on the notification bell for you to be notified each time I upload new video. Now on my shoulder line here, I'm going to input half of my shoulder there. My shoulder is 15 inches divided by 2, that is 7.5. I'm going to add ½ inch to it, so that is 8 inches. I'm going to measure it from the center front. But first of all, let me measure 2 inches for my zipper allowance out to make you understand what I'm doing. I'm going to connect it straight. So I will now place my front on it. So this is my zipper allowance now for the back. So I'm placing my front on it and I'm going to continue. So on my shoulder line, I'm going to input half of my shoulder there, which I said is 7.5 plus ½ inch seam allowance from the center front here. So this is where the 8 inches is now. 7.5 plus ½ inch seam allowance. I'm going to repeat the same thing on my chest line. From the center front, please do not make mistake. And I'm going to connect it just like this. I haven't done that, so I will now create my shoulder slope by measuring 1 inch from the edge of my fabric. Just like this. So for my neck width for the front part, I'm going to measure from the center front here. I'm measuring 3.5 inches for my neck width. So I'm going to connect slantly just like this to form my shoulder slope. So I'm going to measure 5 inches for the neck depth. After measuring, I'm going to use the curved side of my ruler to connect it round, just like this. Having done that, I'm going to measure 1 inch downward for my back neck depth. I mean 1.5 for my back neck depth, and I'm going to connect it like this. Let it extend to the back part, please. So after that, I'm going to place 1/4 of my bust on my chest line, which is here now, because my bust is 36 inches divided by 4, that is 9 inches, plus ½ inch is, that is 9.5 inches. So I'm doing the same thing on the bust point line. So I'm going to input 1/4 of my waist on the waistline plus 1 inch dart. So I'm doing the same thing on my hip line, 1/4 of my hip plus 1 inch dart. I'm doing the same thing on the down part of my upper part, 1/4 of my hip plus 1 inch. So I'm going to connect it just like this. After connecting, I'm going to add 2 inches seam allowance to it. You can add 1 or 1.5 inch, depends on how much fabric you have. So I'm going to connect just like this. So after doing so, I'm going to draw out my front armhole by folding my tape measure into 2 like this to find the middle of this armhole line. So I'm coming in by 3/4 of an inch for me to draw out my front armhole. I'm going to connect slantly like this and use the curved side of my ruler to finish it up just like this. So I'll just place my ruler like this outside of that armhole line for me to draw out my back armhole curve. So after that, I'm going to cut it out, but I'm cutting the back part first. Just watch me. That is the back neckline and back armhole. Before I continue, I'm going to add ½ inch for my shoulder joining to this place. Cut, 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 cut. Now I'm removing the front for me to continue the cutting of the back. On the waistline here, to avoid the zip bug, to avoid folding at the back part, I'm going to measure ½ inch inward on the waistline, connecting just like this from the upper part and the down part, and I'm going to cut it out. Just watch what I'm doing and follow the step. So I'm done with the back, as you can see. So I'm going to continue with my front part by cutting out my neckline and the armhole for the front part. That's just it for the upper part, and this is the fabric, another fabric for the down part. So to get the amount of fabric folding for that and the length, I'm going to deduct the length of the upper part from the full length of my dress. So the full length of my dress is 56 inches. If I deduct the full length of the upper part from the full length of my dress, which is 34 inches, the remaining one will give me 22 inches. So I have 22 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance here, which is the length of the down part, and I have double of my hip for the width of this fabric now. So here is the sleeve I'm making use of. I have long sleeve here. I have a video on how to draft it. I'm going to put the link in the box below for you guys to understand. So I'll go ahead and cut the lining. I'm done cut the lining. As you can see, here is the front part. Let me start my stitching from the front part. So I'm going to open up my front like this to the right side, place the lining on it for me to stitch the neckline on both sides, just like this, and make sure the lining is aligned on the fabric very well. So I'll just stitch like this and stitch both sides with 1/2 inch to the down part of it. After doing that, I'm going to move on to the back part. Place my lining on the right side. You know, I have 2 pieces for the back part. I'll just take one out of it like this and place my lining on the right side of it for me to stitch. Here is the right side. I'm going to chalk the wrong side for me not to make mistake. So I'm placing my lining on the right side like this. Let it align very well before you stitch, please. So I'll just stitch like this with 1/2 inch here too, and here with 1/2 inch. So I'm doing the same thing on the second part of the back. So I'm done stitching the lining to the fabric. As you can see, I'll go ahead and notch the neckline with 1/4 inch and turn to the right side. After turning it to the right side, I'm going to give it a good press, and also I'm going to do the same thing on the back part. Notch the neckline and turn to the right side, after which I'm going to give it a good press as well. Please subscribe to my channel. So I'm done with all that I explained. This is the back part, as you can see, and here is my zipper allowance. So I'll go ahead now and draw my dart out before I stitch it. But let me start my drawing on the back part. So I'm measuring all the necessary measurements like I did on the fabric while cutting. So my chest line, my bust point line, my waist line, and my hip line. So I'm going to extend all the lines now. What are you still waiting for, guys? Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell for you to be notified each time I upload new video. Do that for your girl, please. So I don't really need this bust point line on the back part. What I'm going to do now is to just measure my nipple to nipple measurement, half of it on this chest line. I'm doing the same thing on the waistline. I'm going to do the same thing on the hip line as well, and I'm going to connect straight like this. So after connecting, I'm going to measure 1/2 inch inward on my waistline, 1 inch from my chest line downward, and I'm going to connect slantly like this. If you are a beginner, please make sure you use your ruler to make your job accurate and neat. After doing this, to make it reflect on the other part of the back, I'll just hold it like this and dot it out on both sides to make it easier for me. So here is it on the second part of the back. This is the knot, and this is the dot, as you can see. So I will easily go to my machine now, fold it like this and trace the line, and I'm going to stitch it out just like this. I'm doing the same thing on the second part of the back. Move on to the front part just like this. I folded it into 2, as you can see. So I'm going to measure all the necessary measurements out: my chest line, my bust point line, my waistline, and my hip line. I'm going to extend all the points now for me to draw out my front dart. Please subscribe. I will appreciate it if you do that for your girl, and leave a comment, please. So on my chest line, I'm going to input half of my nipple to nipple measurements till I reach my hip line. I'm connecting it straight just like this. After that, I'll move on to my waist, measure 1/2 inch inward for me to draw out my dart, and I came down from my bust point line by 2 inches. So I'm going to connect it slanting like this. So after that, I'm going to hold it for it to reflect on the second part. I'm holding it like this and dot it out. So here is it on the second part, as you can see. I'll just go to my machine, fold it like this, and trace the line, stitch on that line just like this. I'm doing the same thing on the second part. You can rule it out if you are a beginner to make your job accurate, please. So I'm done with the darts, as you can see. So here is it. Look how neat and beautiful it is. This is the front part and this is the back part. So I'll go ahead now and fix my zipper. Place the back on each other. Let the right side face each other like this. For me to use my zipper, I'm going to place my zipper like this for me to measure where I want my stitching to start till I reach the bottom part. So my stitching is starting from the hip line till I reach the bottom part of this upper part. So assuming I have stitched it, let me use pin to hold it because I want to show you where zipper is going to enter. Assuming I've stitched it like this, so I'll just open it up like this and fix my zipper here, as you can see. Now after fixing my zipper to it, I'll just place my back like this and place my front on it. Just let the right side of each other face each other like this for me to join the two shoulders. So I'll go ahead and open up my shoulder like this, place it on each other, let it align very well before stitching with 1/2 inch. Just watch what I'm doing, you will understand it. Let it align like this very well and stitch with 1/2 inch from here to here. I'm doing the same thing on the second shoulder. So when I finish doing that, I'll come and show you what's next. Now I'm done joining the two shoulders. As you can see, look how neat and beautiful it is, and I've fixed my zipper to the back part. So I'm going to place it on each other, place the front on the back like this. Let the right side face each other for me to join both sides same. So I'm going to extend all those lines now for you guys to understand. My hip line, my waist line, my bust point line, and my chest line. So after doing that, I'm going to place 1/2 of my circumferences on each lines. So this is my chest line. I'm going to find what is here. What is here now is 21 inches, and I'm going to deduct 1/2 of my bust circumference, which is 18 inches from that 21 inches. The remaining one is 3 inches. I'm going to share it into 2 and place it on both sides. I'm going to measure it out on both sides, 1.5 inch here and 1.5 inch on the other side. So to make it easier for me, I can just deduct 1/2 inch that I use to join the lining and the fabric together, since I added 2 inches for my seam allowance. So if I deduct 1/2 inch from that 2 inches, the remaining one will give me 1.5 inches. I will just measure 1.5 inches from the armpit till the down part of my dress on both sides and connect it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, and make sure you turn on the notification bell for you to be notified each time I upload new video, so you won't be miss out. So 1.5 on both sides and connect from the armpit to the down part of the dress. To make it a little bit sexier, you can just measure 1 inch on the bottom part and join it from the hip line till you get what you measured. But I'm leaving it like this because of my client. My client does not want it shapy a little bit at the down part here. So I'm going to do the same thing on the second side of it. So I'll go ahead and stitch. So as for the down part, I'll just open it up like this and run a loose stitch on one side of the here. Now I'm going to run a loose stitch from this edge to the second edge. So I'm done stitching, as you can see, from the armpit to the down part, and I left one side of it open for me to fix my down part to it. Here is a fabric for the down part. I've run a loose stitch from the first edge to the second edge. So I'll go ahead and form a gathers by picking one out of the thread here on one side of it, pick one, just pick one and start pulling. Just watch me, please. So I'm going to start pulling. Just like this, till I get the amount of inches I want. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera. As you can see now, I'm done with it. Here is the down part and here is the upper part of the dress. You know, I said I left one side of it open. I'll just open it up like this. So place it like this, and I want to trim all the excess fabric and thread. Make sure you do so as well if you have any, to make your job neat and beautiful. So I'll pick up my down part now, place it on the upper part, let the right side face each other like this. So I'm going to stitch both together with 1/2 inch like I'm doing. Just watch what I'm doing. It's very simple, guys. So I'm going to stitch from one side to the other side. So I'm done joining the down part to the upper part. As you can see, it's very nice and beautiful. So here's the right side. Look how neat and beautiful it is. So I'll go ahead now and stitch the second side, close it up. After closing it up, I'm going to hem the bottom of my dress. I'll just fold it, double fold it and hem it. So here's the sleeve. I'll just fold my sleeve like this to hem the bottom of it. After hemming the bottom, I'll just fold it like this and stitch the side seam. I'm doing the same thing on the second sleeve. So I'm done with the second side of my dress. Here is the right side of it. As you can see, it's very nice and beautiful, and I've hemmed the bottom of my dress as well. So what's next is to fix my sleeve, both sleeves to it. I'm turning the sleeves into the right side for me to explain how I'm going to go about it. So here is it. Here's the right side of the first sleeve. I'm turning the second one as well. Now that I'm done turning to the right side, I'll go ahead and place my dress like this. I just want to explain how it's going to look like. So I'm going to, this one is going to be for this side and the other one is going to be for the second side. So let me just turn it like this for you to understand what I'm doing. This will be for this side and the other one will be for this side as well. So I'll go ahead and stitch it together now. Here is the finishing look of the dress. As you can see, it's very nice and beautiful. So guys, if my tutorial has been helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to support my channel. If you have any question pertaining to cutting and sewing, you can join me on my Facebook group, Details to Sewing, created by Akorede Adenike. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Akorede Adenike. Please show some love by liking and following my page on Facebook at Akorede Adenike Sewing Tutorial. Till I see you in my next video, guys. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.